In Northwest news, a Yakima police officer and a suspect were both wounded by a single shot when a gun fired as they were struggling. Captain Rod Light says the officer has a minor wound to his left knee and the suspect has a minor wound to his right hip. The officer also cracked a rib and will be off duty for several days. It happened Sunday night when the officer heard a shot and chased down the suspect. Light says the man had a gun in his waistband or pocket. It fired during the struggle. The gun had been stolen in a burglary. The officer did not fire his gun. The suspect is jailed for investigation of attempted murder, being a felon in possession of a gun, and in possessing a stolen gun. The effort to establish a herd of Columbian white-tailed deer at the Ridgefield National Wildlife Refuge is off to a shaky start, so wildlife agents have been killing coyotes to help fawns survive. 13 coyotes have been killed so far this summer. Refuge manager Chris Lapp says if the young deer can survive until fall, they'll grow fast and savvy enough to avoid the coyotes. About 3 dozen of the endangered deer were moved in the spring from the Julia Butler Hanson Refuge near Cathlamet, where their habitat is threatened by a dike failure. Another dozen were moved to Cottonwood Island in the Columbia River. But about a dozen of the Ridgefield deer had died by the end of July. 7 more moved off the refuge. There was a lot of smoke in Grant County coming from permitted agricultural burns. In Idaho, the smoke is coming from a large wildland fire. Here is the Associated Press with more on the story.
Firefighters in Idaho say they're getting optimistic as they battle a huge wildfire that has burned nearly 160 square miles. They say cloud cover and additional firefighters joining the battle helped slow the huge fire down on Sunday. More than 1,200 firefighters, along with 19 aircraft, are on the job, trying to stop the fire both in towns like Haley.
When it comes to a house-to-house firefight, then we'll be ready.
And in the mountains, including the famous Ketchum and Sun Valley ski resorts.
We've had super support from the ski area. They have some very high capacity pumps at the top of the ski area, so we're protecting the power supply for those pumps because if the fire does approach there, we're going to be relying on those.
Firefighters say the aircraft are dropping fire retardant in a huge line on Bald Mountain, popularly known as Baldy, in hopes of stopping the fire in its tracks in the Sun Valley Resort. The fire has forced the evacuation of more than 2,000 homes. On Sunday night, it was reported to be 9% contained. Sandy Kozel, The Associated Press.
An escaped wallaroo named Hopkins, which looks like a small kangaroo, is missing in the Deer Park area about 15 miles north of Spokane. Owner Andy Davis says her pet was frightened by some equipment her landlord was using Sunday and ran off. David told the Spokesman Review she slept outside Sunday night in hopes of seeing Hopkins, but fears that he may have fallen prey to coyotes in the rural area. A wallaroo is between a wallaby and kangaroo in size, and any Aussie knows that. That's going to do it for us here at iFIBER 1 News. We want to thank you for watching, and we'll see you again tomorrow.